Good morning, Detroit, and welcome to Detroit Unspun TV. My name is Dave Lingholm, and I'll be your tour guide for the next half hour. Here are the Bulldog Bits, which are a quick tour of headlines from around our region. Hey, movie buffs, the Burton Theater is back. Sort of. Corktown Cinema is the reincarnation of the Burton Theater and will show the same independent art house style films as the original location did, says the Detroit Free Press. It joins a recent development boom in the Corktown neighborhood and is expected to launch in January. Survey says it's better than ever to work in Michigan. According to MLive.com, Quicken Loans, Plex Systems, and Home Instead Senior Care are among the best workplaces in Michigan. There's good news on the home front, too. According to the Detroit News, the home foreclosure rate fell in October. This marks the 12th consecutive month that foreclosure activity fell in Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties. And with the recent flood of businesses interested in more than just flipping a profit, could Detroit be poised to become the next Silicon Valley of social entrepreneurship, asks Economy. This serves as a good base for the new wave of social entrepreneurship, they note. And helping to spur this effort along are Wayne State University's Launchpad and the University of Michigan's Social Venture Fund. Hugh is the big winner this week of Hatch Detroit's $50,000 contest retail store competition. Owner Joe Posh will use the winnings to open up his brick and mortar shop in Midtown, celebrating the upscale side of the 1950s and 60s with a bachelor's twist. Hey, just a reminder, Joe, I like my martini shaken, not stirred. And Detroiters got their eat on a lot this year at Detroit Restaurant Week. This fall's celebration was the largest so far, boasting 36,046 patrons. That's an 18% increase from last year. We'll all raise our forks to that. And on that note, we take you to Ferndale, where a new distillery is using Michigan-made products.
Detroit is best known for making cars, but an unknown secret is that Detroit is now making vodka. We're going to take a closer look at Valentine Distilling Company, which is making high-quality handcrafted vodka right here in downtown Ferndale, Michigan. We're going to take a closer look at their distillery in the back room and their front room, which is known as a speakeasy. I'm here with Rufino Valentine, the owner of Valentine Vodka. We're in the back room of his distillery, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about how his processing works.
Well, one of the keys to making Valentine, and one of the reasons that we're able to compete with some of the best imported vodkas from around the world, is the process that we use. And this is our hand-pounded copper still from Portugal, and this is called a batch still, and it's a really hands-on way to distill. It's been around, this type of distillation hasn't changed in hundreds of years. It's revolutionary nowadays, however, because nobody does it that way. Just because it is time intensive and it is a real hands-on method of distillation.
So I understand that you're making very small batches of vodka, which makes it the high quality taste that I've found it to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything here is done by hand in really small batches. In fact, even when the distillate, when we're distilling, I'm literally smelling and tasting it to determine what's going to make it into the bottle and what's not going to make it into the bottle.
Well, another really interesting point that I found is you're using Michigan-based ingredients, right?
Well, that's one of our philosophies, and that's one of the things that's probably most important to me, and that's one of the reasons I moved back to Michigan to start this here. Not only are ingredients all from Michigan, but our entire supply chain is from Michigan. So everything, our boxes are made in Detroit, and our bottles are decorated in Grand Rapids. So when we're looking for suppliers, we'll start as close to home as possible and then start expanding. We found some of the best suppliers in Michigan. So
that's great. I see you're located in a variety of stores, but people can also taste the vodka right here in your front room as well, right?
Well, I mean, that's one of the exciting things I think about this place, is because 4 days a week we essentially open the business up to the public, and they're able to experience, a distillery while having a nice handmade cocktail with fresh ingredients.
Yeah, it's great. So you're going to take us back and show us exactly how some of the bottling process works, and we're going to get a little bit more in depth into how this local Michigan-based delicious tasting vodka is made.
Another thing that makes Valentine really unique, and another reason that we're able to compete with the big companies out there, is we're one of the first vodka distilleries in the world to use a multi-grain recipe. Most vodka is made from potato or wheat historically. We've actually taken 3 different grains, red Michigan wheat, barley, and corn, and blended them. And that's what we'll do in these tanks. We'll blend it to our secret and proprietary proportions, but that's how we really come up with the real smooth finish and that unique tasting characteristics that we have.
That's it for us today at Valentine Distilling Company. Make sure to look for the red light on Bester in downtown Ferndale. Back to you, Dave.
Back. We're joined today by Mark Loeb, the chief elf of the Christmas Wonderfest, and by Bob Gregory of Campus Martius Park. And first of all, this year marks the first time in Campus Martius Park's history that there's a Michigan Christmas tree in the park. Tell me, Bob, why was that important to have this year?
Well, this is the first time. We actually have tried over this is our 8th year of having a gigantic Christmas tree right at Campus Martius Park. And we've tried every year to get a Michigan tree. And believe it or not, with all the trees, with thousands of trees, millions of trees in Michigan, and Michigan's one of the great Christmas tree growing states in the country, it's hard to find a 60-foot big tree that is, has the right dimensions, the right shape and size and that kind of stuff. So this year, we really reached out in a very broad way, got the Michigan Christmas Tree Association to help in the search, Michigan State University, which, believe it or not, has a Christmas tree division as part of that, of their extension service. Wow. So all the little elves and the Christmas tree groups went out and they found this tree up near Cadillac, Michigan. And it was in an arboretum, and it had actually outgrown itself. It was planted 50 years ago. And so they came to the rescue in early October, found us a beautiful tree, and now it's down there on top of the fountain at Campus Martius and ready to be lit November 18th.
Well, and along with that, this is also the first year of the Christmas Wonderfest. And I know that you ran it last year for a little bit in Northville. What makes, I guess, Mr. Chief Elf, what makes you want to run that here in Detroit this year?
Well, it's Bob's fault, actually. Years and years ago, 8 or so, he and I were working on the grand opening of the park, and I asked Bob, I'm an event guy. Bob, if I could bring some events here, what would you really like to see? And Bob said, well, we need a Christmas market and we need a German beer garden. Now, weirdly and coincidentally, we have them both at the same time this year.
Well, and that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. How many, you said there were 16,000 people that rode the carousel last year?
Yes, the ride operators last year in Northville told me that 16,000 people rode the carousel during our 3-day event. So we'll see what we can do in Detroit.
And it's going from the 18th to the 27th.
Right, perfect dates, because we open with the tree lighting, which is one of the really fabulous events that we have downtown, and then we go all the way through the parade weekend, so that we're encouraging Detroit.
Well, and tell me, Bob, why is having an event like Christmas Wonderfest important for Campus Martius Park?
Well, the great cities of the world, have these beautiful squares, and Detroit's Campus Martius is one of those. But historically, they go back hundreds of years over in Germany and Europe and elsewhere. And even now in New York City with Rockefeller Center, these kind of iconic places that bring people together during the holidays. And so it's important for us to have, the centerpiece with the tree, the ice rink, and have something else for people coming downtown, families to actually, and whether families or young couples or whatever, more things to do when you come down into the center of downtown for the holidays. So the Christmas marketplace is perfect. It's going to showcase some of the best museums, stores, gifts. You can get your gifts for your friends, your relatives, and during this period from the tree lighting, when everybody comes back for Thanksgiving to Detroit to visit their family, their relatives, all the college kids are coming back. So this gives them something to do, buy a Detroit item for a gift, experience, the old European marketplaces. They have the marketplaces, they have the ability to have the hot mulled German wine as you walk through the marketplaces, the beer garden. This is actually the Hofbrau beer live right from Munich as well as part of this. So this is, again, Detroit's first effort to do this, but even go to New York City, they have 4 or 5 of these marketplaces. Chicago's got the Daily Plaza Christmas marketplace. So we're catching up, but I think we have a better environment to actually do this in.
Sounds like this is Detroit's stake in the ground that says, hey, we really are a big city, and this is a square that deserves this kind of activity.
Yeah, and the architecture and the beauty around the square with the tree and everything is better than almost any other city in the United States, I think.
So what types of things can people purchase at the marketplace then?
One of the more exciting things is we have a Motor City Marketplace that will feature 16 of the area museums. Each of them are putting some of their best souvenir items out there so people can come back to Detroit and shop all those museums at once and not only support them but also have some really cool gifts to give away. We have International Institute is helping us find great international vendors. Then the surprises, we've got the Ferris wheel, which is almost as tall as the tree.
Wow.
So you can almost look down on it, but you could certainly look at the star straight on.
It's going to be a pretty cold ride, isn't it?
It'll be a very chilly ride, but that's not it. It's surprisingly one of the traditional elements.
That's what you need the wine for, the hot mulled wine.
Oh, yeah.
Just warm you up before you get on the Ferris
Sounds like
wheel.
my kind of event.
Right.
And those people that want to stay closer to the ground, we do have a carousel also. Of course, all sorts of special foods and taste treats. We've got Detroit-centric items from Detroit manufacturing and those types of places. We've got the beer garden, the hot mulled wine, and then Santa, of course, will be there. Don't think he's going to be signing autographs, but he'll be taking notes, I'm sure. Then the last thing that I want to make sure that everybody knows is we're asking the kids to help us make ornaments. They can take one home, and then we're putting one on another giant tree that's going to go to Oakwood Hospital to be there for the kids that are there during Christmas.
Very nice. So how closely does this resemble a true German marketplace or a traditional German marketplace then?
Well, the biggest difference is in the German marketplaces, everything's in small booths, and the audience stays outside going from booth to booth. Mm-hmm. And maybe eventually we'll be ready for that in Detroit. But when I talk about that to people here, they say, no, it sounds chilly. So we have a big tent so people can stay warm while they're doing their shopping.
And was there a reason that it's only 9 days and not through the entire Christmas season?
Well, it's a start.
Okay.
Basically, if you can picture this is huge, giant, and it's a quarter of what it'll be next year or the following year. And eventually we'd like to have it be the complete Christmas season and have people come downtown to shop like they did in the old days. That's one of the best memories that I have, I don't know about you, Bob,
right,
of coming down to Hudson's at least the once a year to do the Christmas shopping.
I mean, there's a lot of positive things going downtown right now in terms of even the holidays. And so even with the Somerset City Lofts things going on again in December. So this will build over time, and this gives people, to run it for 9-10 days, I think, is a way to get it started again, to whet the appetite. We really need Detroiters from the city as well as the region to support, coming down to support. These are some great gifts, some great organizations. I mean, you just saw what the little Shop Detroit out Somerset did in terms of the attention it got. And so this, I think, can even be much bigger than that and more authentic in terms of the kinds of things that'll be there. So we're really anticipating a great response.
Well, will it be open on Thanksgiving Day as well?
Yes, rather short hours. We're not going to do the open at midnight like some of the insane suburban stores are doing. We'll be open about 9 o'clock, and we'll run through 1 o'clock or so, and then give everybody a chance to go home and have a great Thanksgiving meal. So
they'll be able to enjoy the parade, come get some shopping done, go to the Lions game, come get some shopping done, and enjoy downtown as well.
Bingo.
Very good, very good. Well, what other, in terms of Campus Martius Park tree lighting, Bob, what are some things that people can expect next Friday? I mean, it's only 7 days away.
7 days away. I mean, it's going to be a spectacular event, and it's really, it has been for the last 7 years. This is, as usual, we tried again to create that winter magic. That's really how we themed the whole season around the start of this tree lighting event. And so much like the Rockefeller tree, which I guess just arrived in New York today, and they have a big hoopla around it. But we'll have a show that goes from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, almost 8 o'clock. We'll have some of the best music and choirs of Detroit as part of that. We have Larry Callahan's Selected of God Choir, which was featured in that Super Bowl commercial, so they'll be a key part of this. We have the Michigan Opera Theater, Children's Choir, or some soloists from there, the Michigan Philharmonic. We have some of Detroit's great skaters that are going to be participating on the ice, championship skaters from the Olympics and elsewhere. So all this will build up to the tree lighting right up just before 8 o'clock, and then right after that, the grand opening party for the ice rink will start, and we have the Wall Clocks band playing on live music on the stage, playing for people can skate around till midnight. So it's going to be a fun party. The Wonderfest will be there. The Beer Garden will be there. The rest of downtown Detroit's there as well. So you can come down downtown Detroit, enjoy the tree lighting and the Wonderfest, but explore the rest of downtown, which is open every night.
Well, it sounds like there's a ton of good reasons to come downtown right now. So thanks very much for joining me, Mark and Bob. We really appreciate it. And now it's a chance to hear a little bit more about a couple of artists called Two Square from the Detroit Regional News Hub's own Ashley Hennen.
All right, I'm here with Justin and Jeremiah from Two Square, and they are traveling artists who have given up their very lucrative jobs to travel around the country and do their art. Can you tell me a little bit more about your project?
Yeah, this project is The Dream Is Now. This was our first project we did here in Detroit. And it took us 7 days.
Lots of paint.
Lots and lots of paint. And it brought us in with the community. We took so long, we took our time. Every time we went up the ladder, if somebody approached, we had a rule. If somebody comes, we're going to come down and talk to them. So we had like a little area set up down here, and we would come chill with them and just kind of like, have the exchange of energy and then go back up and work on it. And this piece means a lot to us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's, forthcoming in what it says, the dream is now, and that's just what he and I are doing, is chasing and catching our dreams. So, this is kind of our life, traveling and doing art and trying to involve other people in our art, and I think that's just what Two Square is about right now, giving a positive message, kind of doing our thing.
And this was a positive message to the community of Detroit and the world. You can already see pieces have fallen off this. It's roof tile, and it wasn't very good to work with, but we did work with it. And it's for the community. It's talking about we as people, we have to evolve together. We have to work together. If you want to raise Detroit, from its ashes. I know it's not in ruin, but Mother Nature's taken over some of these buildings, and you have to work together.
Yeah, not one person can do it. It takes everybody, and that's what's up.
So you guys have traveled all over the country and the world. You've been to Europe and back. What are your impressions of Detroit?
Well, I mean, that could take a long time to answer.
Sure.
Detroit's like, this was kind of like finding a key to Detroit for us. It opened up the world here. Mm-hmm. And one step has kind of like led to another. The people of Detroit, they've all been so welcoming and warm to us.
Very warm. We were going through the streets, and while we were painting this, and we stopped at a yard sale, got to talk to some locals. They ended up letting us have their ladder, borrow their ladder, so it would extend to get this. They didn't know us. They let us borrow for 3-4 days. Mm. Somebody in this community let us borrow another ladder, and it just seemed, you hear all these impressions about Detroit and how evil and messed up it is, but people are gold here. And I think that's the beauty about Detroit is, things do decay, but that's just because, business is not here, but there's still a pulse, and people are still people, and people are beautiful here in Detroit.
The people that are here are fighting for their community. They're trying to bring it back to life. So those are the real people that are here, and those are the people that were brought to us, you know what I mean? So it's just beautiful to be able to be a part of the community. Instead of feeling like the stepchild, they made us feel like a son, So Detroit's really taken us in and embraced us, and we've embraced it back. We want to come back here and start one of our first art collectives here in the city in a warehouse, and if we're fortunate, if we succeed, we'll do it. We'll bring some love back to Detroit.
We will do it.
Well, we hope to see you guys back here. So we're at the Imagination Station right now, where one of your murals is.
Our first mural.
Your first mural. All right, how did you get hooked up with these guys?
There's a piece on the side, and it kind of brought us in from Michigan Avenue on the side of the Roosevelt, and we came in and spoke to Jeff, and the people that did that were originally supposed to do this, but they didn't like the material it's made out of. And we said, we would love to take care of this. And he just gave us an open door and let us run with it. We didn't have to write anything down, give him any ideas, and it was just like a mutual respect, and it kind of grew and grew and grew, and we're just happy to be a part of it, for sure.
All right, so you guys have been here longer than you've been in any other city. Why is that?
I mean, there are a number of reasons, but I mean, we love Detroit. I mean, it's everything. It's the community, it's the architecture, it's the feeling, you know, it's the grittiness of it. It's everything. I mean, Detroit is wrapped up as one beautiful package. I mean, we love it. It's us. It's 2 Square.
2 Square, we hustle hard, and Detroit hustles harder. So, you know, we're hustling harder in Detroit.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Back to you, Dave.
For a lot of Detroiters, America's Thanksgiving Parade is a tradition. It's that one time a year that they like to come downtown and watch all of the colorful floats go by. And this year there are a few new ones, and the CompuWare float is one of those brand new attractions. It's beginning to look a lot more like the holiday season here at Campus Martius Park. Ice is forming on the ice rink, the trees behind us, and CompuWare just revealed their newest float for America's Thanksgiving Parade, the CompuWare Alps, where you can tweet your I wishes for Detroit. As the float pulled out in front of the CompuWare World headquarters, people were treated to watching CompuWare chairman Peter Carmanos send the first tweet that appeared on iwishfordetroit.com. The concept of the float is that as it's going down the parade route, different tweets of well wishes for the city of Detroit will flash on the screen. Between now and November 24th, people are encouraged to go to the iwishfordetroit.com website and submit exactly what you want the world to know about Detroit. And the great thing is, the float will be featured, the tweets will be featured on the WDIV Local 4 broadcast of the parade, as well as the part of the broadcast that's syndicated nationally. From outside the Pure Detroit shop inside the Fisher Building, we give you this week's Dig Downtown 5. People curious about Detroit just know that there are plenty of things to do downtown if they were only just in the know. They also feel like the only people who really know what's happening downtown are downtown residents. Well, guess what? We live here, we're in the know, and these are the things that we dig. So come on and dig them with us. Irving Berlin's White Christmas. This holiday classic lights up the Fox Theater this week. The musical is sure to delight even those who are the most bah humbug about the holiday spirit. Running through November 13th, so get your tickets now. The cotton anniversary of La Casa de la Habana. If you follow us on Foursquare, you've probably gathered that this is one of our favorite spots downtown. Join them on Friday night to celebrate their 2nd anniversary in business and find out why this is a place we really dig. Disco Heat, a dance benefit party for Thaw. Macho City's been around for a few years now, and they remain pretty popular because of their predilection for all things disco. As a little twist, this week's underground party will be collecting donations for the Heat and Warmth Fund to help keep the heat on for those less fortunate this winter. Detroit Bikes, Java Junket 5 bike ride. Curb Detroit made the pronouncement last week that Metro Detroit's gaining on Seattle when it comes to coffee. So take this fully caffeinated Detroit Synergy organized tour of 5 coffee houses in Detroit to test the accuracy of that claim. WordCamp Detroit. Nerds will be swarming the Renaissance Center this weekend, armed with laptops instead of pocket protectors. Their mission? To share best practices in building websites using WordPress. So if you have even a shred of how to make websites work, make sure this one's on your calendar. And from this week's In Case You Missed It files, we bring you photos from the David Broderick Tower tours that happened last Saturday. Want to see a few pictures of the renovations? Then head over to our Dig Downtown Detroit Facebook page and click on the David Broderick Tower album. Another Detroit tradition, if you will, is Henry the Hatter. He's long been an institution in the city of Detroit, and our own Ashley Hennen did double duty this week and sat down with with the owner, and here's her story.
People I've never even met say, "Oh, you're the grandson. I know who you are. Look, that's little Henry. Oh yeah, that's little Henry right there." And I'm like, "Yep." You know, it's cool. They're like, "I knew your granddad, and he was a bad old man." And like, you know, it's cool. You know, it's just like they're kind of like your friends, even though and like I said, people I've never even met before. And then I get to know people, like the people that come in, the celebrities, the music videos, everyone wants a hat from Henry the Hatter, you know, just the excitement. I don't know, it's crazy. It's not your average store. We've been through a lot. It was like the Great Depression, just the riots, recessions, just, I don't know, somehow we're still here. We've managed to survive. It's just, you know, just the name itself. I mean, when my family walked into it, it was already well established, and a lot of the other hat stores in Detroit have gone under, and there used to be a hat store on every corner, and now there aren't too many. I personally have gotten more like of an eye for what styles fit different people, why, you know, what colors look good on people, and also how to clean and block hats and shape them, and anything from style to quality to, like I said, I guess just getting an eye for what different styles look good on different people. Now, you know, when I first started, I couldn't really tell the difference between a lot of different hats, but now I can tell, you know, quality from garbage, and I don't know. We have just the regular baseball caps, the Detroit Tigers caps. I mean, I love my Detroit Tigers caps. I have mine at home. I was watching the game yesterday, but you can't go wrong with something like this, you know, obviously. People just are like crazy. The outfits they bring in from the Broadway, they buy a suit at the Broadway, just the colors, their personalities, and very friendly, just very like welcoming, and you almost, it's very weird. It's not like another store, I feel like, you know, it's not like a department store where you just walk in and like people just like turn away when they see you. It's like you're more engaged, it's more personal. It's not so much, let me just sell you something and take your money. It's like, how are you? How are your kids? Like, I mean, it might sound like almost like superficial, but it's, I don't know. It's just different. It's a different vibe. I like it.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, checking out Detroit Unspun TV this week. We got a lot of people to thank, so I can't hit them all, but I want to make sure that we thank Mark Loeb, the chief elf for Christmas Wonderfest, Bob Gregory from Campus Martius Park, and of course South Detroit LLC for hooking us up with some real cool swag. Buena suerte, Detroit.